Namaste children and welcome back. I hope you all are doing fine, are safe at home and following all the classes at home. And if you remember, we had started with chapter 2, rocks and minerals, and today we will cover part 3 of the video. I've already sent you 2 videos, part 1 and part 2. Today we are covering part 3. So what did we cover in the previous 2 classes? In the previous 2 classes we studied about igneous rocks, formation of igneous rocks, examples of igneous rocks and uses of these igneous rocks, where they are used. Next, we had also done sedimentary rocks, how sedimentary rocks are formed. We had also discussed about examples of sedimentary rocks and where they are used. We had also studied about metamorphic rocks. These are formed from igneous and sedimentary rocks which have changed due to high pressure and temperature. So that was the formation of metamorphic rocks. Then we had discussed the examples of metamorphic rocks and where they are used. We had also learnt about water minerals, and then we had talked about types of minerals. We had talked of metallic minerals. Minerals from which we extract metals are called metallic minerals. We had talked about ores like pyrite, hematite, bauxite, and these are ores, or these are minerals which are having a high content of a specific metal, and we extract that metal from these ores. We had talked of non-metallic minerals like feldspar, mica, silica, silicon. All these are non-metallic minerals, and these are used for various purposes in the industries. We had also talked about gemstones. Gemstones are again chunks of minerals of bright colors, and these are then cut and polished into specific shapes to give you bright colored gemstones, which are generally used in jewelry. In today's class, we will learn about the various uses of rocks and minerals in our daily lives. First of all, rocks and minerals are being used by human beings from ancient times. Even to this day, we use products obtained from the rocks and minerals. If we look back in history, even our pyramids, our temples, and so many other monuments are built out of rocks. If you will go down back even to further back into civilization, where you had the Harappan and Harappan culture, you had the Mohenjo-daro culture, where actually we have found bronze statues from there, showing that even that time people used to extract metals from ores and use them in their daily lives. So this knowledge is there with us from ancient times. We've been using it, and till date we are using various products we obtain from the rocks and minerals. Following are some of the most common uses of rocks and minerals. There are many uses. We are discussing just a few over here. First of all, construction. We use rocks and stones for building houses, offices, etc. Stones and jellystones are used all through the building process. Even the cement used in construction of buildings is derived from minerals. You remember we were saying that the lime, the feldspar, and all these things are used in the making of cement. And most of the process of construction, 90% is done using cement these days. In olden times, it was more of the rocks directly cutting into chunks and using. Now it is more of cement and less of direct rocks. Tar is used to make roads, and marbles are used for flooring. Iron and steel are used in making pillars for the buildings. Tar is coal tar, जिसको आप हिंदी में in Punjabi you call it luk. So that is made out of petroleum, which again comes from the soil. Petroleum, from petroleum we get petrol, diesel, kerosene oil, LPG, paraffin wax, you get your petroleum jelly, you get paints, shoe polish. All these things are made from petroleum, or which you also call crude oil many a times. So tar is also made from that, and we use it to make roads. Marbles are used for flooring, for making slabs, for putting on walls also, decoration, and many other uses. Iron and steel are used in making pillars for the buildings. Even pillars and even roofs, जिसको आप सरिया भी बोलते हैं हम लोग. When we do construction, हम सरिया लगाते हैं. They're long rods of iron which are used to reinforce the material. When you make the roof, you make a crisscross or a mesh of these iron rods, and then you put concrete into it, which you call linter dalna hai na. So that is where you use iron and steel in even making in pillars and in making of roof of buildings. Next, we talk of metals, specifically metals. There are lots of uses of metals. We are talking of few over here. Utensils are the basic requirements of a kitchen in a home. These are made from iron, copper, aluminium, and steel. Iron, your tawa; copper, you have glasses, you have water bottles, you have jugs; aluminium, your cookers, your kadhais; and steel, your plates, katori, bowls, glasses, etc. These are all made from steel. All these are made or obtained from the mineral ores. And it is not just utensils that are made of metals. There are so many things around you that are made of metal. If you take the example of school, your tables are made of iron, which is again a metal. You look at home you have so many gadgets which have metal in them. The bodies of the refrigerator, your microwave, your oven, your AC, their bodies are made of metal. You have metal cupboards, right? You have so many metal trolleys, so many things. If you look around the house, you will find so many things which are made of metals, different metals. And metals like gold, silver, and platinum are used in making ornaments, decorative items, and jewelry. These are the expensive ones, the shinier ones, which are used in making ornaments and other decorative items and jewelry. Next is gemstones. Gemstones like diamond, ruby, sapphire, and emerald are used to make jewelry. And sometimes we use maybe the diamond diamond dust. When you cut the diamond into shape, you will get some dust out of it. So that is also hard. It is used as a scrubbing material sometimes. You have diamond tipped knives to cut glass, because diamond is the only substance that can cut glass. So you have a few other uses of these, but mainly in jewelry. Next is fuel. What is a fuel? A fuel is a substance which on burning releases a large amount of heat energy. Most of the things burn, right? So I cannot use everything as fuel, because it has to give me a lot of energy. If I'm burning something and I'm getting a little energy out of it, it's not much of a use to us. So basically, coal is used as a fuel. We use LPG as a fuel. We use petrol as a fuel. We use diesel as a fuel. Yes, so these give us a lot of energy, a small amount, but they give us a lot of energy. So coal is used as a fuel to keep homes warm in colder regions. People used to have fireplaces. Nowadays we keep heaters which come from work on electricity. But in older times, people used to make fireplaces and light coal fires over there. In rural areas, people still make coal fires and still sit around it at night in the evening. And also for cooking, people used to use coal. Nowadays we use LPG gas. So basically, petroleum also is a good fuel, and we are using many things from petroleum. Uranium is a rare mineral. It is used in nuclear reactors to produce large amount of energy. A nuclear reaction, it's a reaction which produces a tremendous amount of energy, and that is why you have nuclear bombs. A small amount of the material and it releases highly amount of a big amount of energy. So what happens, it goes boom like a bomb. But in nuclear reactors, we control those reactions and we limit those reactions, and we do it in a controlled manner so that we don't get a bomb out of it, but we can use that energy in a positive way. And mostly we have nuclear power plants which convert the nuclear energy into electric energy. We had done in class 4 that one form of energy can be changed into another form of energy. For example, in your bulbs, you have electric energy changing into light energy. In the room heater, you have electric energy changing into heat energy, right? Your solar geysers, you have heat energy, or you have solar lights. Solar lights, you have solar panels which actually trap heat energy converted to electricity. So you can change forms of energy from one form to another. So here we change the nuclear energy into electric energy. Next, we have fertilizers. Minerals like sulfates and nitrates are constituents of fertilizers. Fertilizers are added to the soil to increase the fertility of soil, thereby increasing the yield of crops. Basically, if you see, go back to time, plants grow on their own. In the forest, nobody goes and puts fertilizers, but the plants grow well over there also. But if I say per square area, per square meter or per square kilometer, the amount of wheat I would get in a forest would be less than what I get in my fields, because my fields are properly taken care of, proper nutrition is given, so they are better. That is why the yield of the crops is better. So that is why the amount of wheat I will get from 1 square kilometer in a field where I've added fertilizers will be much more than the normal case. So that is the only thing we are boosting or adding on to it and making it more fertile. So these minerals like sulfates and nitrates, again we get from the soil, and we put it back into the soil in the form of fertilizers. Food, we use rock salt or kala namak in food. It is obtained from the rocks in the earth. We also have something called pink Himalayan salt, which is nowadays very much in trend for usage. It is basically Himalayan rocks which are salty in nature, and when crushed they give you a slightly pink powder, and people are generally saying it is better than the normal salt. So many people nowadays use pink Himalayan salt, but the salt also comes from the rocks. Many other minerals like calcium, iron and potassium are required for the growth and development of our body. We get these from the vegetables. We've learned it in previous classes that this food is rich in calcium, this is rich in iron. Like we say the green leafy vegetables are rich in iron, and then we say milk is rich in calcium, or maybe even your till jisko bolte hain. Nowadays you get, winters have started, you get gajak which has till in it. Those tiny seeds, they are also rich in calcium. So where do these things get their calcium from? They get it from the soil. So we get these vegetables and fruits we eat. They get the minerals from the soil, and they accumulate in these foods, and then these foods we eat, those minerals reach us, right? So that is another use of rocks and minerals in our daily life. The following table lists some minerals and the uses in our daily lives. Quartz is used in watches. In olden times, people used to wear watches which had to be wound. There was a spring inside and you had to wind it up. Some of you might check with your maybe grandparents. Some of them would still be having those watches which you need to be wound up every day. Right. So nowadays we don't have any winding system. A watch, one spot, goes on and on, because either there are cells inside or there is a quartz crystal inside which keeps our watches running. Talc is again a mineral which is used in the talcum powders or the face powders. Graphite is a black variant of carbon. कार्बन का ही एक फॉर्म होता है, and it is very slippery in nature, smooth and slippery in nature, and that is why it is used in pencils, because that is why your pencils write so smoothly. They slip so easily on the paper because graphite is a slippery material. Diamond is used in jewelry or maybe even sometimes in cutting instruments. Copper is used in electrical wires. Most of the wires, if you will open out and see, outside they have colored coating of plastic, maybe green, red, yellow, blue, pink, whatever, but inside they will all have copper inside. Some wires have aluminium inside. The aluminium wires are slightly cheaper, but then the durability is less, so people mostly prefer to use copper wires. Mica, as I had explained when we were doing the minerals also, it is used in welding rods, electronic goods. Its job is as an insulator which traps the current from flowing, and it's basically used in electronic goods. So I think that's all we are having for today. Yes, that's all for today. We wind up the chapter with this, and you would be getting your question answers. So please complete your notebooks and make sure your work is up to date and complete. We'll be asking you for your notebooks shortly for correction. So with this, I bid bye to all of you. Please stay safe, take care, and good day.